Dickenson. I'm a resident artist here at ElZaguan. I make brooms and brushes. Today I'm making these little keyboard brooms that I use a lot of different color. It's a very calm way for me to spend my day to create these. This is a Tampico fiber that's made from agave, and it's a very soft fiber. I call these keyboard brooms because they get into little cracks, be it your keyboard or anywhere else. I've been here at ElZaguan for a few years, and I feel lucky to be a part of the history of this place and have a tiny role here in all the different artists and writers and makers. This is a brush that I made out of a wooden mallet. Love the way it feels in your hand. I got this at an estate sale, so I'm not quite sure of the origin, which is the case of a lot of my work. This is a Tampico fiber, and I wet it earlier today just to sort of fluff up the fibers. So now I feel like it has a nice fluffiness to it and a nice feel in your hand.
And that whole aspect of having something that feels nice in your hand is always an important part of your work. Is that right?
Yeah. Tools, things that have been held. I like that. So today I'm working outside on a bunch of projects. These are all found object brooms. For these pieces I'm using what is called broom corn, which is really just sorghum. It's that stiff fiber that feels very broom-like. None of these have been stitched yet. They've all just been bound. And tennis racket. This I think is some sort of butter mold, which I think is very pretty. This is an old bathroom fixture. This is a cane, and this will become a broom and actually feels really nice in your hand too when you sweep. All these things need to be stitched, which is what I'm doing right now. This is a little bird carving. Has a funny little beak that opens, and I'm about to stitch this. I've put the fibers in a clamp, and I'm going to take some of the cord, matching cord, and start to stitch so that this piece takes on the shape of a broom. And the stitching is what changes that. There are some brooms that are just nice like that. And often they're called cobweb brooms, and that you can get in to some cobwebs if you happen to have some, which we have a lot here. But also stitched makes a flatter, more sort of broom-shaped structure.
So that's the device you use to clamp all of the non-cobweb brooms?
Yeah, this is just
or similar.
Yeah. 2 pieces of wood. One of the smaller ones I use is just an old wooden tennis racket clamp. So anything that has 2 pieces of wood that you can sort of screw tight and adjust it to however you want it.
So here's a crazy question. How many brooms and brushes do you think you may have made here in the time that you were at ElZaguan?
It is an impossible thing to answer. I have absolutely no idea. It's a lot. We'll go with that.
I was going to be surprised if you had an answer for that. But just all the broom room exhibitions, each one has had hundreds of brooms in it.
And I think I have a few hundred more in me. I see objects and I want to make them into brooms. So we'll see what happens next.
And so what kind of stitch is that? Is there
I'm not sure that it has a specific name, but what's interesting about it is it's double-sided. So unlike other stitching where you're mostly concerned with one side, this stitching you're concerned with both sides. So I find myself you know, turning the piece over and over to make sure that the stitching is where I want it on each side.
And then we have some broom corn over here. Baskets and baskets.
The red and the black are dyed, and I buy them dyed. So the dyeing is a whole nother art form, and I hope to do it at some point, but right now I use the dyed colors and the natural color just as the background to do a lot of different kinds of colorways on the stitching, which I really enjoy. And I have a lot of different kind of colors and cords to use.
Fun to play with all of the, color combinations. Is that usually kind of an intuitive thing for you as you're working, or?
I don't usually have a plan. I really like to combine colors, and sometimes I have ones that I'm very surprised by, and sometimes I have some old favorites that I like to do over and over again.
Well, thanks for having us in your studio, Julia, and in your outdoor.
I'm lucky enough
studio
today to work outside, which in Santa Fe is about 300 days of the year.